My boy is infatuated with Boomer right now. He's a Boomer head.
Is he a boomerang?
Not yet. Not yet. But we were getting him to say "Okay, Boomer" a lot, which made everyone
That's
else laugh.
hysterical. Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah, so just prepare to.
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
That train is off the track.
I feel like you can't just like jump through Neptune and be okay.
Just prepare to.
What the show needs is more dogs and bears and chickens and stuff.
Yeah, so just prepare to be awash in unbeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You are listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. This is episode 669, coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we're going to discuss our insane offense, and we'll do some Undegoogleables for you. Joining me this show are two of our three analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks in the crappy jingles. It's John 000 Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out to Boomer, who is always in the rafters, but will eventually have his jersey retired there. As double, probably not triple.
Yeah, that's probably right. From Boise, Idaho, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What's going on, fellas? Shout out Jason this week. Miss you, buddy. Hope you're having fun.
Yeah.
Doctor.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah,
And-
nobody's keeping us in line.
And Colson, quit threatening Boomer.
Yeah. He doesn't respond well to threats. The game I had gone to earlier this year, when I sat down low, Boomer was cruising around, and Boomer and I had a little bonding moment because Boomer was messing with some kids in front of me, and a server had come around was just asking around if anyone wanted drinks, and Boomer pointed at the two kids. It was like, for beer and wine and stuff, and
Sure.
Boomer pointed to the kids, and I laughed because it was funny, because the kids were like 8 and 10 or something like that, but I was the only one that got Boomer's joke, and so Boomer looked at me, and we kind of had a little moment there that I recognized his hilarious joke, and I like that, so he's a good dude. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
High flying.
Boomer humor.
Boomer humor. Well, before we get into the show, would like to remind listeners that they can support us, the longest running Pacers podcast, by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables, and you can support us for as little as $1 per month. All right, gentlemen, this show, I want to start you off with my stat of the week.
Wait. You don't start. That's like halftime. Stat of the week.
Well, I went up the corporate ladder and said, hey, this is happening. And
It's your show. You do what you want to do.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
Joey, stat of the week.
Well, so this week, my stat of the week is, it's just the Pacers offense in general. I'll give you a bunch of stats, and we can talk about like all of them or many of them. I think the most important one is just the straight up points per game, and the Pacers are leading the league as of recording, 126.0 points per game. And the second place team, the Dallas Mavericks, there's a pretty big gap there. Right? They're at 122.8. You know, it is early in the year, but there's a big gap there. Number 3 is the Sixers at 120.7. And then the Hawks and Celtics are basically right behind them. But the Pacers are pouring it in this season. We're not here to talk about the defense, so that shall not be discussed in this segment.
Fair enough. Just close these tabs.
But right after, you could get into just dig in.
Unlike the Pacers D.
Right. So we got so points per game are phenomenal. Assists per game leading the league, 30.7, and they're shooting the ball well too. You know, even a field goal percentage, they're not just shooting lots of them. They're shooting it well too. They're second in the league at 49.8, just behind the Denver Nuggets at 50.3. They're making the most 3-pointers. They're shooting the 3-point well. They're the second in percentage, so they're chucking and hitting, and they're not getting to the line as much. They're not hitting the free throws as much. But when you're hitting threes like we are, doesn't matter so much. Also, when you're shooting threes, you're generally not getting to the line quite as much. But it's been really fun to watch, and Harper, non-defensively, what has been like your favorite thing on the offense to watch, like sort of just that singular aspect of what they're doing besides just pouring in points?
I mean, the pouring in the points is kind of definitely the best part. And I mean, it's probably a cheat to just say Tyrese Halliburton, but the kid just gets better and better. I mean, you know he's going to go out there and share the rock, and you know he had a couple rocky games last week. He was maybe looking a little bit injured, but now he's got the 3-pointer going, and you know he'll jack it up from 28 feet now if you don't guard him out there. And it just makes him so deadly. Know when you got to guard him out there, he's got a good enough first step that he can get by you. Right now, a ton of our offense is just put it in Tyrese's hand and let him make something magical happen. And most of the time, that works really, really well for us. He is unbelievable. When he's on the floor, he assists 49% of the baskets that happen on our squad. The next highest guy in the league is Trae Young at like 40 or something. He's just a monster. He's having a phenomenal year.
Well, Harper, what I was thinking about when I think about this breakneck pace, like get a rebound, you fling it up, the guy's leaking out, and we get a dunk, right? I mean, that's how you do this thing. I've noticed that, like, Halliburton kind of comes across the line a little slow sometimes. Like, it's not like he's running. When he runs, it's almost like a secondary fast break. Like, he basically comes up. It's quick, but it's not, but it's not super fast. It's like
John wouldn't be fast, but don't hurry.
Yes, because he hits it right before the defense is set, and like his first pass sometimes is just all it takes, and that's such a skill. Because I watch it, I'm like, we're not going that fast, and it's like, oh, we just scored in 6 seconds. Okay, I guess that's pretty fast, I mean, there are a lot of outlet passes. There is a lot of like you get a rebound, you run fast, but like his trot up is working on the first offensive, option, and a lot of times it works. It's just very, very impressive.
Yeah. And, hats off to, all the other 4 guys who are putting pressure on the defense by getting down there and making them stake a claim, right? And that's where that semi-transition comes from, right? As you get those first couple guys down there hustling down the court, they're going to make the defense show something, and
sure, they've got to force something in or force out, or exactly.
That's going to create something in that semi-transition, and we're creating all kinds of good stuff there, including a bunch of wide open threes for Halliburton, because when you got 5 of our guys who are all going to shoot 40% on you, it's really, really difficult to guard this team.
Well, and you've got an Obi Toppin that will just take an alley oop and dunk on your head. You've got a Miles Turner who has an improved low post game, and you've got Matherin who can get to the rack at will. Bruce Brown's done a great job of getting 2 feet in the paint and then passing out. Like, we just have a lot of action all the time. But I agree with you that Halliburton is the magical piece. Like, it's constant. It's not even not necessary no-look passes, but it's just he will throw you off by looking the other direction and finding the wide-open guy. It works every time. If you could throw a no-look pass, the defense goes away from the guy you're passing it to. It's just very impressive.
Yeah, no, he's one of those, you can't trust his eyes. Like, he's doing that a lot. I mean, you always see it on the slow-mo replay, right? But you can't always see it as it's, he does that all of the time, right?
All of the time.
He is always using misdirection against you. He's just such a crafty player. I mean, he's got incredible physical gifts, but he's just that Mark Jackson kind of crafty, right? He will work the game within the game on you. And I mean, he has not been in the league that long. This is his, 7th season? I mean,
is it that? No, it's not that many.
No.
5.
It's not even that many.
It's 5, right?
5, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no, this kid's he's a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also his 3-pointer looks awkward as hell. And this is, I think this is why I start to feel a little bit Reggie Miller-esque, right? With this just scrawny kid that has an awkward looking 3-pointer, and it just goes in, and it goes in at big moments. The nostalgia for a guy that has the sense of the moment and is scrawny is just wonderful right now. I'm loving it.
Yeah, his misdirection I've been super impressed with. I just sent, before we started recording this, when there was a clip from a game earlier this week where he called for a fake screen and went ahead and used it anyway because the defender thought that
there was going to be a screen.
There. Yeah. You don't even need to actually, it's games within games. And Harper, you're right. You see a lot of these no-look passes on the on the replay. But there's a lot of them. And I think it's a little bit too. I think it's been used by some other players. I think I saw Miles Turner try some no-look passes. And when like with Mark Jackson, like, you knew that guy, you had to, as an offensive player playing with Mark Jackson and Halliburton, you have to be ready at all times because
keep your hands up.
You can't have brick mitts to and be out there. But when somebody who never does that all of a sudden does a no-look pass, like, it's not gonna go quite so.
Yeah, you're gonna hit somebody in the face.
I love that Miles is feeling it though, like, because I think that's a Halliburton, what he's bringing to the table. I mean, on some level, if somebody is that gifted at passing and has that much joy in passing and wants everybody to do it, like, you can see we have a happy ball. It skips around. Like, there really is, like, it moves around the perimeter when it should. There's the skip pass to the wide open guy when it should. Like, there's so much happy passing happening in this team, and that's got to go to, I mean, of course it goes to Carlisle, but, Halliburton is what drives this team, and I think everybody, they're sort of feeling the joy he has with passing. We've talked about Matherin's growth, only a few games in, but, like, one of the things we wanted to see is him be a better, sharer of the basketball, and his assists are up. It looks like he's seeing things in a different way, and that's got to be coming from the leadership, and that's fantastic.
It's just been so much fun to watch, both the offense as a whole and Halliburton, leading this ship, and we got Obi Toppin out there to we got some different looks on the dunks, and I think that one thing for me that's been really fun is just having so many threats from the different the different places. Like we can shoot the three, and there was a good, the game on Sunday. You have to respect Miles Turner's 3-point shot, and if you're getting out late to him, then he may fake that shot and go to the basket, and he's been really good at being aggressive towards the basket. He is one guy that's getting to the free throw line because he's been, he still does shoot a lot of threes, but he's been getting to the basket too, and when they have to respect another aspect of your game, or you'll torch them somewhere else. Like when you're one dimensional, then they don't have to respect that. But if you have multiple looks, then yeah, get in there and do some damage.
Yeah.
And they've just been doing it. They've been pouring those points in, man.
And that's super helpful. But if you're Miles Turner, not only does that have the benefit of maybe open up the lane for you, but also, importantly, pulls Embiid or whoever is playing him out of the paint and lets these other guys get to the rack. And having a big who can stretch the floor like that is just invaluable.
Well, yeah, his rainbow shot is just money right now. I mean, he's got that high arcing 3-pointer, and every time he puts it up, you're like, no, and then it's like going in at a 40% rate. Like he's just been killing it.
Yeah, and if you need to burn some clock, you just let him shoot a 3, come back in 10 minutes, and then we'll find out if it went in.
Right. Joey, at the beginning, I think your stat of the week was about how many points we're scoring. I don't know. I didn't listen. We'll go back and listen to the tape. I want to put that in historical context for the listeners. So the most, if this were to sustain, which is a very long season, and actually at this point, I assume we're going to get better offensively, and this will go up. But historically, the highest scoring team in the history of the NBA was the 1981-82 Denver Nuggets. I believe Alex English, it's talked about in sort of rarefied air. They scored 126.5 points per game. We are currently scoring 126. The 1961-62 Warriors scored 125.4 points a game. So if this were to sustain, we would be the second highest scoring team in the history of the NBA. And I assume by the end of the season, we'll have blown out this number. I think we're going for 130. 50 assists a game. I'm just ready to go. But that's how impressive this is. Like, this is really a big deal. I know it's early in the season, but we are doing very, very impressive things.
Yeah, no, it's been incredible so far. Worth noting that our strength of schedule hasn't been super high so far.
Sure,
but
sure.
So maybe it doesn't go to 150 or whatever you just went with. But
I said 130. I think
130. Okay, and 50 assists a game. My bad.
Yeah, 50 assists a game.
Yeah. Some teams will be able to keep us. 50% of teams will be able to keep us under 50 assists a game. So we'll finish somewhere.
That's a lot of math. I don't know what that means. Does that mean 25 assists a game? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
But it's been a long time since we've had a guy on the. I don't know. We've never had a guy on the floor who throw down dunks like Obi Toppin does, and who can finish around the rim as effectively as these guys can, and up and down the lineup having 3-point shooters like this. This is a unique team in Pacers history, the way that we are currently constructed, and and as much as we've always been a defensive-minded blue-collar team. This is just a very different way of approaching basketball, and it sure is fun as a fan.
It is super fun. I am concerned that the way you win the playoffs is being able to get stops.
Wait, he's not allowed to do this, Joey. Joey's breaking the rules.
Oh, okay.
He's
I'll make it a very brief statement then.
No. We can officially. End the stat now.
Okay.
Now you can.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay. Free play.
All right. Our defense. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, nailed it.
Yeah. It's not as bad as our offense is good, but it's not great. It's towards the bottom in most metrics.
It is. Part of that is pace. And I do believe that the way the metrics are designed, right? If teams are scoring a lot of points because we're playing at a high pace, you know.
Well, then just look at net.
Well, yeah, I know. Here's the problem with net is sometimes you're missing 3-pointers and they're not because, I don't know. Look.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with basketball is sometimes the ball goes in and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah.
There's
a problem with winning basketball games. Like,
and I feel like our problem right now is that sometimes we can't stop the ball from going in. That's my major analysis.
That is the kind of insight that people come to this
offensively
show.
and defensively. We just can't stop scoring,
and we can't stop other people from scoring. Yeah. I have seen us stand up and get some actual defensive stops in certain games, in that Bucks game, in that Cleveland game. Like I think there is some ability for us to, come together on a string. It doesn't seem like a priority for us. But when the ball is moving offensively the way it is, and when guys seem to be on the same page and excited about playing basketball, it's hard to give them too hard a time. What I want is a team that can stop the other team from scoring. But I also was a fan of a team that could only score 60 points in a playoff game against the Detroit Pistons in, whatever, the 2000s. So what do I know about basketball? The answer is nothing. Go ahead. Just tell me nothing. It's fine.
I mean,
I don't want to be the one to say it.
You don't have to love scoring to love basketball. You can love defense to love basketball. I mean, that's kind of the way that we were brought up. This is this is just a very different kind of.
It feels different. I mean, that's what you brought up, Harper, and I appreciate that because it feels foreign to me that we can just kind of score at will, but also can't stop anybody from doing anything. And we're going to win more games than we're going to not on some level. Like, this is the way that we're scoring right now is going to put us on above 500 pace. But, to have real success in this league, you've got to be able to put together stops, right? I mean, I guess the Warriors.
Define real success. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we expect ourselves to be a plus 500 team. We're in the top 10 in all of the offensive
every offensive category.
Including wins, we're third in the conference. Early in the year, we're right where we want to be. We're still playing pretty deep on the depth chart, and one of the things that you tend not to be as good at as you get down the depth chart a lot of times is defense, right? When you're throwing out guys who aren't as strong. As the road tightens up, and as these guys get more minutes together, I expect the team defense to improve. I'm certainly concerned that we do not seem to have a go-to stopper of any kind on our team. I'm really hoping that someone's going to step into that role for us. But as of right now, that is unclear.
Miles Turner was that for years for us when we were a good defensive team. Last year
he's never been a one-on-one stopper.
No. But he's the guy that quarterbacks the defense and he calls things out, right? And he's grown into that role. Yeah. And I would say, last year was not great at it, but we were tanking. The year before and the previous year, I think maybe it was by his third year, you felt like he really was able to kind of help control the rotation, the defensive rotation, all that stuff. I think he's got the ability to do it. I still see him talking to the guys about their defensive assignments. Yeah. You would ideally like to see Bruce Brown be his secondary, his wing version of that. And you want to see Mathurin mature into a stopper because he's got the body to do it. I think, again, Halliburton will never be the ideal defensive stopper, but he's got the length and he can be a team defender. He can steal the ball. We do have the pieces. I think, Harper, you said something a few weeks ago that I really that really struck me, that the guys in our starting lineup all are playing their position and they all fit. There's a real chance for these guys, if they all get on board, to actually be a defensive squad. It's just a matter of making that happen. And, right now we're scoring the shit out of the ball, so maybe it doesn't matter. But on some level, once the playoffs hit, that, it's not enough. Because you're going to start missing three-pointers.
I mean, just like, who's your... We don't have like a go-to perimeter defender right now. Like, eventually someone is going to...
I think Mathurin and Brown have to figure out... I mean, they can both be it. I think they both should be it.
Well, right now, neither of them are it. So
I know.
Someone is going to have to step up and do it. I don't care.
They've got to
who
figure it out.
But
I think they both have the talent to do it, though. And that's my point. I mean, Brown's known as a defensive stopper, and I think Mathurin has the physical talent, and he's being asked to do it. So one of these guys or both of them can do it. It's just a matter of time. That's what I'm hoping.
I think this is something for me that that always bugs me is the like sort of unforced errors, like not getting back, those kind of things, like getting beat, it's sort of the effort and attention type things where those things drive me nuts. And I think that there's a couple of those per game, which if you can count, it's early in the season, and I think that that kind of stuff through the season generally will kind of get hammered into players. But those are the things that I think that if we can cut down on those, it minimizes some of those. Those are ones that I think that are more avoidable than some of the other ones that, just like some of these guys, like you're always going to see some of these just incredibly dominant offensive players. Giannis and LeBron and
apparently Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey, like some of these guys are like they're gonna go off for 50 on you, 40 and 50. Like that's gonna happen all year because these guys, that's what they do, and there's nothing you can do about some of this stuff. But I'm saying the stuff that you can, then minimize those things, and it's gonna be a little bit less of a problem, because these games are wild. Like when the numbers are this big, like you can pour in points very quickly, and it goes both ways. We can be down 15, 20 points, and we can be up 15, 20 points, and the game's not over.
Yeah.
You gotta.
We put up an
and
80
those
point
other
half
ones
last week.
right. I mean,
exactly.
and those games that, those kind of effort and attention ones, they're also like kind of backbreaker ones where they can like help turn the flow of the game a little bit too. It's not just the 2 points necessarily. It's just kind of like
robs any momentum that you might have. Gets the crowd
takes the wind
into
out
it
of
or
the
out of
sails.
it, depending on where you're playing.
Right.
Agreed.
Well, I must say that there were one of the games this week we gave up a lot of turnovers, but in general we've been really good at taking care of the basketball. We're not beating ourselves in that sense. Against Philly, we got way out-rebounded in offensive rebounds. But you're right. I feel like a lot of the getting beat is just on not getting back and not staying in front of your man. If there was a consistent problem like turnovers or we're getting way out-rebounded, again, we're not a great rebounding team, but like we're not getting dominated on that section right now. You'd be like, hey, we have to look at this and fix this. And it really is. I agree with you, Joey. There's an inability to stop people is our main problem right now, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, we are 24th in rebounding now, and that's
it's not great. But like we've been. I feel like we've been competitive.
We're like 25th in defense, and we're 24th in rebounding. So
I just feel like you're right. I just feel like in general, I feel like we're at least in range until this Philly game. And again, that Boston game where you were like, hey, look, like we're with only a few rebounds down, and again, we're not turning the ball over that much. I don't know.
We can get muscled up out there. Like one of the reasons that we're not a good rebounding team is because teams will get into us and out physical us. And I don't see that going away.
Miles Turner is not a dominant rebounder. He's better this year. We were complimenting him last week. He's actually doing a far better job. But Obi Toppin is not a dominant rebounder next to him. He's a sort of minus rebounder, honestly. We're asking more from Matherin. We, actually, Carlisle went to him and was like, hey, I need more rebounding from the guard position because I don't have enough rebounding at
We're
the
going to have
bigs."
to do it by committee because we're not.
Yeah.
Our big men are not getting the job.
And Bruce Brown has been doing it. He's been giving us sort of, strong numbers at the small forward spot consistently. But yeah, no, we just don't have a Dale Davis that's going to go and just take every, board out there.
But it's not even that. It's just pure physicality. Like, we don't get into bodies. We don't make them, right? And
we are a finesse team.
Yeah.
We are going to shoot threes and not get in the. I mean, we go to the paint. We don't stop you from going into the paint either.
Well, do we go to the paint? Because we don't shoot free throws well either. And these are things that we're gonna have to work on some before the playoffs, because that's when these things really do start to matter. We've got so much runway, and we're playing so well that we should maximize the things that we're doing, and turn our attention to make incremental growth at these other things. But we're gonna need a few more clubs in the bag before April rolls around.
Yeah. Joey, are you excited about the idea of April? We might actually make the playoffs. I know it's early, but
yeah, I mean, I looked on Basketball Reference. They have the
everything
predict. Well, yeah, I would say the predictor.
Shout out to Basketball Reference, by the way.
But they had we were like 75% or something to make the playoffs. I think so as of recording. So
as in 10 games into the season, we're just like,
yep,
let's do it.
They run all the simulations, forever. So
for some reason, CBS only has us at like they have it at 0% for the division and 21.6% for the postseason.
Wow.
Which is lower than Orlando. I think that their thing is broken.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. We've got, according to Basketball Reference, we are 79.4% to make the playoffs, about 3% to win the conference, and about 1% to win the finals. So Orlando's at 0.7% to win the finals. So
yeah, we're still only predicted, according to CBS's metrics, of 37 wins. I don't know how they're doing the math.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think they've updated anything. This is what they decided before the season, maybe.
Well, again, this is a lot of strength of schedule coming into play, right? So.
Yeah, no, we talked about this. I mean, in fact, in our schedule pod, we talked about how, the NBA wants us to win a lot of games up front so that we can have a good record going into hosting the NBA All-Star Game, and to be a relevant team and a relevant city for that. But you know what? I think the Pacers are going to say, screw you. And they're going to...
And they're going to lose?
Keep winning afterwards.
Well, on the schedule pod, we call this one the November to December, right?
Yeah, the November to December. That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Joey, do you want to do Undegoogleables?
Yeah, let's do one of those.
Oh, are we doing Undegoogleables?
That was the plan.
Super excited.
You told us we had to, so.
He said we signed up for it.
In the end, it's going to be better and more true than Google can give you.
I'm in a giving mood. I can answer some
And
questions.
Undegoogleables? Is the singular or plural? I think I've been saying it wrong.
I think I just broke my brain.
Can you ask a question?
No, my brain's broke.
All right.
Okay. Got one for you guys. It's a turn of phrase. We like doing these. Knucklehead. Why are you a knucklehead?
We had side question.
We've already started
like
with it's undergoogleable within an undergoogleable already.
Well, this is just a quick side topic, but we often, at least in the past, we had a one knucklehead rule, which was sort
on
of
the Pacers, right?
Well, just on the Pacers, but I think on a functional team, you can't have more than one knucklehead. You can have one that sort of
one's useful, in fact, like stirs the pot a little bit,
right?
Yeah.
But if you've got two, that they feed off each other, and it's a net negative.
And then you're shooting up nightclubs.
Now, do we use knucklehead in the sense that it is generally used? Because we use it to refer to a bit of a loose cannon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of goes back to the definition, right? Like, because.
But I don't think that's the actual definition.
They're kind of an idiot, right?
Is kind of an idiot, yeah.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're a knucklehead.
Yeah, I feel like it can be both, right? Like and I think that it can be. Yeah, I mean, I think there's multiple definitions. Yeah, sometimes it is. Yeah, somebody who's like, kind of, not so bright. And I think that there's a definition for that, and then there's also this person's causing trouble.
This loose cannon aspect.
But I think those probably are connected. Like, hey, maybe. They're not they're not firing all cylinders. They're only firing on half cylinders. Maybe making some poor decisions.
Well, my thinking on the thing had always been, it's just, quite literal. Knuckle, head, fight, stupid, right? Like, it's a combination of all those things working together, and, a bit of a loose cannon, maybe been hit in the head one too many times. You got yourself a knuckle.
So knuckles have hit the head?
Yeah.
To where you slightly, like, the brain's been knocked around a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay.
I just, Occam's razor. That's just always what I thought.
Sure, knuckles hitting the head. I like it. Maybe it's that easy.
No, it's not going to be that easy. It's going to have to do with pigeons somehow.
What would be the time frame on that? You want to, like, 1800s boxing?
When did people start getting hit in the head?
Okay. All right. So we're going Pliny the Younger, I think. I don't know. Adam and Eve. What are we doing?
It feels sort of like I don't know, like 1930s-y to me.
Okay.
Oh, I got a little look on the hands there.
He's an old knucklehead.
Oh, knucklehead. Like when was Gumshoe from? Didn't we decide that was later? Wasn't that like the 50s or something? Like film
we thought.
War?
We thought it was, but it was earlier. I think I can't remember. We should listen to the show more. It's really informative. I just remember the wrong things.
Me too.
No, I think Gumshoe was the vulcanized rubber made it quiet. I think
vulcanized rubber. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So closer to the turn of the century. So I'll go turn of the century.
Okay.
And we think it's just
Joey. What do you think? Do you think it's just getting punched? You got something else?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes more sense. I also, I was kind of just thinking potentially it could just be, having something else in your head besides the brain.
Like a knuckle.
The doctor says my brain is smooth like an egg.
So I don't know, and maybe the reason I asked this question is because, like, on some level, I always just was like, if you had, it was like a knuckle. If you looked at your knuckle, that's as smart as this person is your knuckle. Like they're just so stupid. They're as smart as your knuckle. Right, not that they've been punched by a knuckle, but like they're just
right.
Like
in a more figurative sense, it's like that. You've only got the one club in the bag, right? Like violence,
right, exactly.
Right, like you can't be clever, like you can only just be a bully, right?
Right, you've got one thing.
Yeah. No, I like
now,
that a lot.
So when did they come up with knuckles? When did that happen?
Yeah, that was soon after we came out of the water.
What did the Romans call it? Knuckles? I don't know. What do we got?
I feel like if you come out of the water and you got knuckles, you're gonna start getting some work done.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's almost always going to be with your knuckles. Like we were now
exactly.
a lot of people back then.
Everything's a knuckle.
Right.
You just knuckle
just,
everything. You know?
When you're a hammer, everything's a nail.
Everything's a nail. That's right. When you're a knuckle, everything's a head. I think.
That's right. As the old
I feel like you
chestnut
should get
goes.
that tattooed on your biceps or something.
I think on your knuckles.
On your knuckles. Yeah. That had to be a really
the new
small
phrase.
font,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I think I love it.
Get good and close. Good and close. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Joe? You're taking
Let's. I would say
proto-human. Is that what you're taking?
So, yeah. So it's either a couple billion years ago, or it could be like in the 40s.
Okay, I like this. I feel like it's like a popsicle stand sort of thing. It's
Right,
like,
that kind of stuff. The soda jerk calls you a knucklehead kind of thing.
Right. Okay, so 40s, 50s America.
Yeah.
Harper's going late 1800s, early 1900s boxing.
London.
Oh, London.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's where all the bare-fisted boxing was going down.
Okay, all right. So we're going turn of the century, London, and I am
with
going
a Cockney accent, if you please, sir.
I can't do one. Would you?
You certainly can.
Yeah, you can. You're my Cockney guy.
No, I can't. I'm going Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, governor.
Well, hit you.
Knuckles to the dome, eh?
I got a knuckle for your head, mate.
There you go.
Knucklehead.
About.
I'll hit you in the face with my knucklehead. I don't know. I got nothing. All right. Want to Google it? One of us is going to be right. I promise.
Well,
So the definitions I'm seeing are really starting on like just the stupid person kind of thing.
according to Matt
Foolish person.
Maroney on X, the term knucklehead was...
I see that one too.
Yeah, it was first used to describe a, quote, mechanical coupling device, unquote, back in 1869. It didn't take on its current definition until 1942, so Joey wins. When during World War II, the U.S. Army Air Force created a cartoon character named RF Knucklehead to discourage bad behavior. So, 1940s cartoons.
Now I want to know about RF Knucklehead.
I want to know all the things about RF Knucklehead.
Everything Knucklehead does is wrong and ends in disaster. He endures one spectacular crash after another so that the students at the Gulf Coast Air Force Training Center may profit by his mistakes. And it looks now as if there is no let up from his agony. Life magazine, 1942. They're given 1890, which would give Harper a little bit of something.
I mean...
Maybe everybody's right.
Everybody's got a little bit.
Except Shakespeare doesn't look like it.
Slacker.
There's a Way with Words podcast about it.
Nice. Just link that.
There you
'cause
go.
They're way better at this than we are.
Oh, I'm listening
But
to
they
that
mentioned
tomorrow.
that I'll put the link in the chat, but also it said it was popularized by their notes, popularized by the RF Knucklehead, known for setting a comically bad example of things pilots shouldn't do.
But how did we get to that name though? Did we have that? Did they say that?
Not in the someone's head is so full of blocks, bones, or knuckles. There's no room for brains. That's kind of what I meant.
A mechanical coupling device used in the railroad industry, Knucklehead, in 1869. is the original, as far as I can tell, is the original term for knucklehead. Yeah, and then it became an insult in World War II, and then became a character. But the original term is a mechanical coupling in the railroads. So everybody wins except Coulson.
Yeah, I don't know how we got from A to B, but railroads, that needs to go on the list with falconry and Shakespeare.
It does. We haven't had a ton of those, but I feel like I feel like red means stop and green means go. I think no, that was seafaring. Everything's seafaring, not railroads. Railroads stole everything from seafaring, except Knucklehead, apparently.
I think there was a movie called Knucklehead from what I'm seeing here, too.
I bet it was good.
It's got WWE star...
Well, it's got to be good.
Who I don't know. Big Show.
Oh, I like Big Show. As WWE stars go.
So it has nothing to do with getting hit in the head with a knuckle.
Not especially, no.
Okay.
I did see something about, but it was on Reddit, about the idea of someone like rubbing their knuckles against their own head in frustration. But it didn't seem very well grounded in anything historical.
Joey, do you feel smarter?
You feel less knuckleheady.
No, but I do feel less knuckleheady. I'll probably feel smarter when I listen to Way with Words.
Yeah.
Or when this comes out on the Undebeatables feed in like a month, you'll be like, oh, right, I learned something.
Maybe that's the problem with our shows. We don't have a knucklehead. Is that the problem with the Undebeatables?
Have you met me?
Oh, we do have a knucklehead.
Hi, I'm John. Nice to meet you.
You're so not a knucklehead, though. You're not violent enough to be a knucklehead.
That's true. I am trying to bite a thread off my coat right now, though.
Okay, you've made up for it in creativity.
Yeah.
Strong play.
Tastes good?
I can't get it.
Yeah. I could watch this all night, but I'm not gonna. All right, team. I think that is our cue to get out of here. Well, he's still going. Still going. All right. Well, we'll be back with you next week. Oh, you got it. Look at you. Congratulations.
Loose thread.
Send you some scissors,
have we done loose thread?
For your birthday.
Is that not a Google we've done before? Because I think I just answered it, whatever it was.
I think you answered loose cannon for yourself, too. We'll be back with you next week, and hopefully we'll have the whole band back together. Until then, you can find us on the place where the other knuckleheads hang out. Social media, we are on Twitter at Undebeatables. We are on Facebook.com/TheUndebeatables. And our website, TheUndebeatables.com. There's a contact form there. You can send us a message, an email. This is the most civilized form of discourse. Shout out at TheUndebeatables.com and at the website /store. You can get some swags.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Six Leonard. Turn out the lights, the party is over. Ha ha!
Didn't see that coming, I'll be honest with you.
I was listening to our pod the other day, and my app recommended Setting the Pace, which is a podcast also about the Pacers.
Really?
And I thought to myself, that's a great name. They nailed it. We probably should have been more brand thoughtful when we were starting our podcast. Solid name.
I don't like it.
Are they the longest running?
No,
Pacers
they are
podcast?
not. They are not. I assume that they're just like a few dumb bitches that have been doing it for a couple of years. I don't know.
Oof,
they're probably bad at their jobs. They're probably just hanging on by a thread. They probably just say stupid shit and nobody cares.
We apologize. We apologize for the prior interruption of our show by been hacked.
We were hacked.
We were hacked. You're invited on our pod at any time.
No, I'll cut this. I'll say nice things about Setting the Pace. Hey, Setting the Pace is a great name. I'm sure you guys are great.
I still don't like the name.
Just thought it was solid. I liked it. I thought it was good.
3 times a week.
Yeah, no, and they do. I think they do YouTube too. So, like, yeah. They're young and virile, you know.
I mean, we could do YouTube if that's on your bucket list, buddy.
No, I'm old and dry.
Boy. Good call ending this when you did, Joey. It was not going to get better.
Yeah. I saw that look in his eyes, like the existential crisis. And I was like, we got to get out of here.
Oh, dear God.
We've all known him long enough to see that look in his eye.
He was literally unraveling.
He was.
Yeah, I was not literally doing that, but yes.
Yeah, no, you were.
Yeah, we saw a thread come out of your mouth.
And you were more fixated on that than you were the show.
And I showed you the thread.
Yeah. Hence,
unraveling.
Literally unraveling.
Yep. Nailed it.
Oh, God.
Checkmate, brother.
I love you guys.
I can tell.
Oh, man. You know, one thing that I don't know that we talked about, we've not talked about yet, but Boomer and Matherin have the same 00 number.
They do. Oh, okay. This is actually a really important conversation. Maybe we should save it for the pod. I mean, I guess we're on the pod, but what happens when Matherin goes to the Hall of Fame and Boomer also goes to the Mascot Hall of Fame? Like, what do we do? Do we hang 2 00s in the rafters? Like, you can't do that.
One thing they could do is they could have a trampoline dunking competition to decide who gets to be hung in the rafters. Also, Boomer already goes up to the rafters like every game. Or he goes up often. So he's got the edge.
He's going to hang his banner wherever he wants. He's just
exactly. Actually, you're right. He just goes
own.
up. And if we put Matherin on the back of the 00s, he'll just go up in the rafters and pull it down, and he'll just he'll put his Boomer one up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Matherin's got no chance. He's got to change his number. Otherwise, he will never be in the rafters as a Pacer.
No. Unless they let him do a 000, then, Halliburton and Boomer froze him out.
000. That's pretty hot, though, actually. Matherin would probably go with that. 000.
If the league will let him.
Ice cold. I don't know why 000 sounds like ice cold to me, but it does.
It sounds like the end of a game to me.
I don't know. It felt like a Sprite ad, where 000 Sprite, ice cold.
Okay.
So much null set.
All right. We didn't start the show yet, did we?
Hopefully, hopefully not.
Hopefully I can edit all this out. I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was good. I enjoyed it.
You like that?
I always have fun.
Yeah, sure. Triple null set is what she said? I don't know.
On go. 3, 2, 1, go!
I'm a man panther.
What are you
Did
doing?
you just skip the go, Colson?
I'm a manther.
Perfect. Perfect.
Uh-oh.
All right, we have to go again. We have to
better
go
make
again.
This a short one.
Let's go real
gotta
fast.
Go.
Yeah.
All right, losing the thread.
Yep.